Are
Yep,
live.
we're live.
Hello, how are you,
We're live.
Attorney Little? How are you?
Doing good on this Thursday afternoon. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well.
It is tax season,
Spent
so
some time in court this morning. Well, actually,
mm,
only about an hour in court or downtown in court for a status conference. So
nice.
happy to get back into the office this afternoon and be productive.
Absolutely. Well, it's our first live. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about some of the crossover between taxes and immigration. Why don't you go ahead, Attorney Jefferson, and just introduce yourself for the folks out there?
So I am Nehemiah Jefferson. I'm America's tax attorney. You can find out more about me and more about our firm at www.americastaxattorney.com.
Yeah, and we have the websites and the banner. Um, so I guess today we're gonna see what's going on in the world of taxes and the world of immigration and talk about some crossover. So
Yeah.
um, what's going on in the world of taxes? It's
What's
tax
going
season.
on in the world of taxes? Obviously, it is tax season. It is tax season for individual taxes. We have a deadline this year of April 18th. If you own a business, that deadline will be sometime in March 15th. So, of course, you should file an extension. If you're unable to get your taxes prepared in time, you should file an extension. And one thing I would definitely tell people to do is, regardless of if you are in a situation in which you owe, you still need to file your tax return. Go ahead and file your tax return. There are many different ways in which we could help you deal with a situation in which you cannot pay. But one of the reasons why you want to go ahead and file your taxes when they are due is because you want to go ahead and start the statute of limitations running. So you need to do that. But some of the one topic that made a lot of news recently, and I think the headline was something like Biden administration plans to tax tips or something like that. But essentially, the premise centers around trying to close what is called a tax gap. So the government, the IRS, fails or falls short every year on collecting the amount of taxes that they should collect. So it's called a tax gap. So the IRS may say that they need to collect, I'm just throwing out a number, $100 billion in taxes, but they may only collect $50 billion in taxes. And so that difference is called the tax gap. And there's many different reasons for there being a tax gap. One reason would be if somebody fails to report all of their income. So this program that they are proposing is centered around tip compliance or reporting tip compliance correctly. And so that was a recent topic
Mm.
that sort of made the news recently. But again, it's tax season, so it's all things taxes. Everybody is thinking about taxes at this time.
And that would be tips for, let's say, like restaurant workers. Yeah,
Correct.
that's going to be
Correct.
interesting. That's really, really going to be interesting.
I think the goal is to get the employer to properly report the amount of tips that a server, waitress, waiter is receiving.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Um, well, we recently, and I agree with you, file your taxes. I think that's always a question that comes up, even in the world of immigration. Um, who should be filing taxes, right? Um, and the answer really is, as long as you're here in the US, you're making income, you should be filing taxes, right?
That is correct. That's the
Um,
simple answer.
that's a simple answer. Well, we'll keep
Yeah.
it simple for today.
Yeah.
Um, and the question for me typically comes up, with people who may be undocumented. But I'll take it back a step. As an LPR, if you're a green card holder, you definitely should be filing taxes. And this comes to be especially important when you are filing for citizenship. And one of the questions on that application is, have you filed your taxes since you've become a resident? So it is important to file taxes. People also ask, are there any immigration benefits to filing taxes independently of maybe having some other form of immigration relief that you can get, or a petition that can be filed? And the answer to that is no. You should file your taxes. Like, let me give you an example. So someone who maybe in the US may not have legal status, but they're filing taxes. And I know I've sent people to you for ITINs, individual tax identification numbers. And this person may have a TIN number, but they don't have any status. And the question is, well, should I still be filing taxes, or do I have an immigration benefit just because I'm filing taxes and I have this TIN number? And obviously the answer is no. So I do have a question for you, because this comes up as well. What would you say is the most important thing someone can do if they are filing taxes in order to, let's say, minimize being audited? Because nobody wants to be audited.
That's a great question. Everything starts with the tax return. Starts with the tax return. So the best thing that anybody can do is to make sure that, well, when they go to have their tax return prepared, make sure you have all of your documents. If you fail to report something on your tax returns, let's just say it's an income document, you'll end up receiving a notice. It's called a CP 2000. So pretty much every tax return gets audited. The IRS uses a matching system. So there's third party reporting by banks, mortgage companies, and other financial institutions like that. They report certain information. They report your transactions, your stock transactions, your dividends, your interest. They report all of that to the IRS. So if you fail to report some of that, you're going to get a notice, because when you send your tax return, when you transmit it electronically, the IRS is looking for certain information. It's looking for the information that they already have on file, the information that's been reported. So you want to make sure that you report, make sure you have all of your documents such that that information gets onto your tax return. That's the main thing. That's one of the main things that you can do. But beyond that, you need to make sure that your return is prepared properly. Let's just say you have all of the information, but if there's a mistake on your return, that could trigger some type of audit or some type of notice, some type of letter. And the biggest thing that I see happening in society or in America is that taxpayers, people who go to a professional to have their tax return prepared, you need to vet the person that is preparing your tax return. You need to find out what credentials they have, find out what education that they have. And I honestly strongly recommend that you only go to somebody that is an enrolled agent, a certified public accountant that focuses in on taxation, or a tax attorney that prepares tax returns. That's just my opinion. I'm going to always stick to that opinion. These individuals, an enrolled agent, certified public accountant, a tax attorney, they constantly have to, well, we constantly, as attorneys, as you well know, we constantly have to, each year, we have to obtain a certain amount of continuing legal education credits, or we're constantly in a learning mode. That's just what I want to say. But we also have an educational background. And so these are things that I think are important when you are having your tax return prepared. And beyond that, make sure that your tax return preparer signs your return. If they do not, it is a red flag. And I will gladly take your phone call.
Good stuff. Yeah, I think that's huge. We say the same thing to our clients in terms of if they have petitions before USCIS, you want to certainly go to a licensed attorney. You don't want to go to document preparers, notarios.
Right.
You can get yourself in a lot of trouble. I've seen it. So that's actually really, really great advice, Attorney Jefferson. So we're wrapping up. Any final words or anything else that you want to add?
This has been fun. Look forward to doing more of these. Certainly, those who are watching, who will watch these videos, if there are any questions that you have, we certainly invite you to send us a message. Go to our website, littlelawpa.com or americastaxattorney.com, and contact us through the contact pages. You can contact us via social media. You certainly could give us a call. You can go to our website and book an appointment with us, and we're more than happy to talk with you and try to answer your questions and make sure that you are taken care of.
Absolutely. So look out for some more of these. Thank you for you guys who will look at this, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much, Attorney Jefferson.
All right. Bye-bye.